Hello and welcome to the Being Love podcast. I'm your host, Brittany Taylor, and I'm joined by my incredible partner, Bridgette, as I often am.
Here I am.
Here you are. And we're in our really sweet little camper van.
We're cozied up on our bed, coffee in hand, post-run in Seattle, Washington.
I'm in my little splits.
Pretty
Not a full
stretching.
split. And yeah, as the first podcast in this new time, I guess what I mean by that is we've kind of had seasons of this podcast as the podcast has changed names, and it started out through my pregnancy and then postpartum and then like a little bit of what life was like, and then you and I took it over and we made it about everything that it is about now. And that is relationships, parenting, lifestyle, and it's finally being reborn with its official last name, I think.
I think it's the perfect name.
I think it is too. Because it all is about being love and embodying love, and love as an expression of health and vitality and oneness.
I love it.
Yeah.
It suits you.
Thank you. So the Being Love podcast, yes. And what we're going to be sharing about today is kind of like the biggest thing that's been alive in our world, which is we live in a van right now.
Yeah, we've been on the road for 3 months. 3 months?
Man, okay.
Been out of our home for 4 months.
Living in our van for almost 4 months.
Yeah.
And we want to share about like the logistics of that, you know, and some of the juicy fun stuff. And the deeper thing I want to talk about is how being on this trip and living this way has changed us, how it has changed us individually, how we've grown emotionally, spiritually, and how our relationships have shifted, how we've grown in our relationships, like with each other, with Ilya, because it is a really unique situation. You're living in this, I don't know how many square feet this is. It's like the size of a bathroom in most people's houses. It's a Sprinter van, an extended cab Sprinter van with a high top. And we have our bed in here, which is just a little bigger than a queen size bed. We have 2 fridges, a stove, an oven, a sink, a composting toilet, storage for our mountain bikes, 3 seats for us to drive in, and our clothes and food and some toys.
Toys and
Art stuff.
gadgets. Gizmos.
Gizmos and gadgets galore. And that's basically it. And so while we are outside probably, you know, just about all day, say 10 hours a day, we also live in this tiny space together, and we navigate all the intimacies of life together in here.
Yeah. Sometimes there's 2 of us, sometimes there's 3 of us.
Yeah. So Bridgette, Ilya, and I are living in this van most of the time, and Connor, who's Ilya's dad and our co-parent and my very great friend, he also travels alongside of us in his van. So sometimes we're all together, and sometimes, like this week, he's with Ilya visiting family nearby, and sometimes just we're with Ilya. So yeah, those are all the variations. And maybe we can outline like just where, kind of an outline of where we've been so far before we dive into some of this deeper stuff.
Yeah. We moved out of our house the beginning of March, and we went to El Salvador for a couple weeks, and then we came back, and we've been on the road.
Surprise, we all got E. coli, and the trip was hilariously different than we expected.
In El Salvador.
Yeah.
And then, so we got back, and we went through Amarillo, and saw my family on the way out of Texas, and we went to Sedona, which is one of our favorite places to mountain bike and be and explore.
Rock scramble. Ilya climbed Bell Rock 3 times.
Yeah. Then we went to Zion. Went up through Utah. We went to Zion and
outside of Salt Lake area for a while.
Went to some hot springs.
Started getting into some snow.
Found big snow. We went snowboarding.
Went sledding, tubing.
Wow, we've done a lot. It's fun to reflect on.
It is. Tetons.
Magic.
Wow.
That's one of our favorite places ever.
Absolutely beautiful. They're just these stunning rising teats coming
out they're called the Grand Tetons.
The Grand
Teats.
The Grand Teats. Because they really, there's no foothills. So they're just like rising up from the ground, and
it's powerful.
And we were there during elk migration, and
and it was very cold. So like the mountains were already capped with snow, but it was like snowing sometimes and 30, 40 degrees. So it was like really like we were like in it there. Like we were like, it was a different reality for sure. Like it added to the ambiance of where we were. Yeah. It was very magical. We jumped in like frigid alpine lakes.
We did.
Covered in snow.
We didn't hold back no matter how cold it got, as our motto goes.
It was empowering.
It was. And then we drove through the Tetons and up through Yellowstone, stayed in West Yellowstone for a little while.
Mm-hmm. We went to Big Sky.
Big Sky, Montana. Had a great spot out there for a while.
Yeah.
Had a big experience with an elk and some bear spray that I'm sure I'll share about someday.
Yeah.
And where did we go after Yellowstone and Big Sky?
To Bozeman.
And
Missoula and Glacier.
We stayed in
Hidden Lake.
Yes, in Lake McDonald. Glacier was beautiful.
Lots of lakes and rivers, and yeah, Montana was a lot of like,
wow.
Yeah, like not many people and just big epic rivers and trees and open spacious.
Yeah, one of our Blair Flats outside of Lake Sealy was a stunning spot right on a river, and then afterwards we went to Clark Fork, or a little while later we went to Clark Fork.
That was really cool.
And it just, Montana felt like every camp spot we got to was better than the last. Everyone was like our favorite camp spot, just something epic in forest with a river. And
yeah, and all the rivers were like different, like some were rushing and like not super swimmable, and then our last one was like so swimmable and so open, and we were watching like bald eagles and deer, and we had our own private little beach area,
and we paddleboarded down it.
Yeah.
Oh, and a few weeks before that we had our own private lake.
Yeah.
We just had this camp spot, this whole like wild campground to ourselves.
Swim naked in the lake.
Went paddleboarding every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been doing, I would say like 95% of the time we've been in like dispersed camping. So a lot of national forest land, BLM land.
Yeah, just free, beautiful spots.
They're
like
stunning.
So, yeah.
And a lot of them, especially Montana, was like a 16-day limit, which we never got even close to. It's crazy. And then you see the developed campgrounds and they're like these little spots next to each other. Like, it's just, it's crazy.
It's funny, like being out in, just like the wild and having like so much space to yourself and like not having to pay and not having to be there at a certain time or leave at a certain time or schedule anything. It feels so like wild and primal. And then I remember we were somewhere and we walked through a developed site, and I was just like, whoa.
Oh, in
like
the Tetons.
It just felt so like, I don't know, like it was interesting, just the symbolism of like being stacked up on top of each other. And
100%.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons we're able to do that is because our van and Connor's van are both off-grid, which is so nice. We have solar power. Our electrical system also charges when we drive. We have a composting toilet. We have everything we need. We have a heater, we have an air conditioner, and we can just run it off of our battery bank. And
yeah, fun tip. Brittany just pimped out our van before we left and added an AC and like rewired our whole system. I don't even know really what she did because it's beyond my capacity, but
we did. We upgraded our battery bank to lithium and we added more amp hours, and then we got a great air conditioner which actually runs off of 12 volt, which is really rare. I think a lot of the new technology is just so helpful for people who want to live off grid.
Yeah, she made our van very efficient.
Yes, it's wonderful in here. We love it in here. It's so sweet and cozy.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we've been up to. Oh, and then we cut across Washington.
Yeah, we're in Washington now. We went through the Olympic.
Nope, we went to the North Cascades.
There you go.
Wow, the North Cascades.
Magic. It's like the Swiss Alps.
The Tetons and the North Cascades, I think, have been our favorite places we've been.
Yep.
And we've been doing a lot of hiking and mountain biking. In the North Cascades, we did Maple Pass, which is our favorite hike we've ever done. We've decided our whole lives.
Yeah, so beautiful.
Amazing, like 8 miles of just everything. Forest and peaks, and we're in the snow.
We were
and
walking on top of a ridged mountain that was, I mean, I don't even know how high up we were. And just epic views, alpine lakes. I don't know if you said that, waterfalls, wildflowers.
So marmots.
So
cute.
It's like magic. And then like time stopped, you know, it was like one of the, like, whoa.
We were in it for like 5 hours.
And it felt like no time had passed.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what a lot of this trip has been. It's like, whoa, when I look back on all these places we've been, it's like time feels interesting. Or it's like, I think because it's like we're experiencing so much presence.
Yeah.
And also like adaptability, like as we like we're constantly on the go and like arriving in new places. And there's something about that, just like discovering a new place and unfolding there and being so immersed in the magic. And then it's like, okay, we're going to this next place, and then we're just there and so immersed in the magic. And in between, kind of like figuring out, you know, too, we stop in town and get groceries and fuel and water and all the things.
Yeah, I think presence has been a huge theme of this. When I think back, it's been almost 4 months exactly. And it feels both like we've been doing this forever and like, where has the time gone? How have these 4 months passed so quickly? And we imagine we'll be doing this for, 3 more months? Mm-hmm. And I think it's really, in a way, it's just so normal now. Mm-hmm. And also, it really brings like this theme of a simple life to the focus, which I love, because, for example, we stopped at a friend's house 2 nights ago. Mm-hmm. 2 nights ago we hung out with our friend, watched her son's baseball game with her, and then stayed in their driveway that night. And that's the first time we've stayed at a friend's place this trip. And we did laundry and we took showers, and it was like
And you shaved my head.
I shaved your
just
half of it. And we were smelling our towels when we got back in the van, and they were warm and they smelled good. And it was like, oh, the luxury, you know, and it just feels so good. Or like every 2 weeks, one of us will clean the composting toilet, and to have like a fresh composting toilet,
or like a full tank of water.
I was just gonna say that. You
know? It's like these little things I think that we can like start to overlook when we're just living in so much luxury and excess, and we kind of just look past like, the exhilaration of like taking a long hot shower, or like these things are like gold to us. Like
our diesel heater, Ilya loves sitting in front of the diesel heater in the morning, especially when we were in those colder areas, and just like seeing him and like how much he looks forward to that and how luxurious that is for him.
Yeah, or like building a morning fire and like going out and just it's like food, shelter, nature, love, connection,
coziness.
It's like that's what we're doing right now. That's kind of like what we're immersed in.
Yeah, it's been really cool to unschool from the road. I mean, we always unschool. That's kind of our format, is no format in a certain way. We let curiosity guide us. We do have some themes. Like one big theme is that Ilya's learning letters and reading and writing. But it's not like, there's not an end goal. It's just like, let's introduce this cool thing to Ilya that he's interested in, and let's go at the pace of like his capacity and his curiosity. So that's been really fun. We've been reading. We tore through the Wild Robot books for the second time. He loves art, and so he draws for hours a day sometimes.
Yeah.
And
he'll make little books. Him and Brittany really like to make little books. And it's so cute. And Brittany's been doing this cool thing where she'll set up like animals or things on a piece of paper, and they'll like write out what they are, and just like making it fun for him, and like making it a part of like what we're doing, like out here on this trip, like bringing in these wild animals, or making books about the stories he's reading or the things we're doing. And
it's so fun. It's so fun to be inspired, and it's so cool to see how, like, okay, for Ilya, who loves art, it's not about sitting down and trying to sound out letters and read this book. Like he's not focused on that. He's not engaged with that. But he is really engaged with writing. Like, his letters look like adult letters.
Yeah.
He has great handwriting. And I think he really enjoys writing the letters. And so that's such a great way to approach it for him. And it's cool that, like, if he were in a school environment, he'd just be learning how to read and write like every other kid.
Yeah.
So that's one really fun thing, is just being inspired. Also on this trip, there's so many questions we've all had about animals and the environment and the climate. And like,
yeah, we've learned so much about each ecosystem.
Yeah.
And what's around. And
yeah, the national parks all have these junior ranger books. So we've gotten those, and those are really fun activity books. And then there's just, like, Ilya has the coolest questions, and a lot of them we don't know the answers to. So we get to, like, look them all up and learn as a family together.
Yeah, and we've also, like, learned a lot through, like, they have cool, like, discovery centers and visitor centers and museums, and just, like, been doing a lot of cool things.
Yeah, we've been so many cool places.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so there's, like, that kind of learning that's happening for all of us. And then there's, like, these, I think we're just growing, like, yeah, spiritually, emotionally, in, like, some unknowable, unnameable way. I feel like we're all expanding and growing.
Yeah, there's one cool way I want to name. Is, like, I feel like we're all really working as a team in a way I think we've always done, but it's just so much more full on this trip. Like, I just feel it's, like, all in sync. We're living in such close quarters. I think, like, being really aware of, like, each other's needs and the flow and how to help out. And Ilya's been doing, like, he has this new task of, like, putting the dishes away, and, like, I typically cook and Brittany typically cleans or washes the dishes, and then Ilya puts them away. And just, like, the way we flow together and can kind of, like, anticipate each other's needs, and, like, watching Ilya learn that more has been really cool. And I think, just, like, the way our relationships have deepened on this trip, and the way we support and love each other. And I just feel so much closer to you both. So I think that's, like, one really cool thing that's been happening.
I love that. We have to flow more cohesively as a family because there's less space. So even just all being up here, it's like, okay, it's time to make a meal. Either, like, say you're cooking, then Ilya and I will, like, okay, we'll set up outside, like, on our blanket with some activities we're doing, or we'll like, help you get all the ingredients out and see if you need help, or we might help chop vegetables, or we have to, like, go up onto the bed. And so it's, like, negotiating space and needs, and all having more clarity on what we need and voicing that with one another. Knowing when we've had a lot of time around each other and need some space for that's so important, and one that you and I have gotten, I think, a lot more aware of and great at navigating together. And, like, just cool different ways to do that with a small space. And in a way we have a huge space because we have nature all around us. And also it's, like, it takes coordinating. Like, I was wanting to get a book, or I was wanting to get clothes, and, like, we have one vehicle and it's our home, so we have to all figure that out together.
We're just, like, so much more intimately in each other's spaces. We're, like, in a big home, when those things are happening, how you were naming, just, like, me cooking and you guys, like, helping and supporting and getting the things. Like, maybe at home, like, Ilya would be playing in his room, or, I mean, we also did those things at home, but it's, like, every day. It's, like, we are
3 times a day.
Totally, like, in the space together, co-creating. And I really think it's really cool that he's getting to witness almost, like, every step of the process, and like, what goes into cooking and what goes into taking care of our space and cleaning the toilet, and why keeping the space clean feels nice for everyone. And Ilya's been, like, putting his clothes in a little pile and putting his toys away, and we're, like, at home, those things, like, aren't as important on a consistent basis.
We still do that. And it's like, I think he can really feel, and I think he feels really empowered to contribute in those ways.
And he wants the space to feel like clean and nice. And because the space is so small, it's like, okay, well, this is what goes into that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all really here. We're able to like really see and feel it.
Up front in our faces.
Yeah. I'd like to take a brief moment out from this podcast to share about my membership site. I'm so excited about this. It's called the Being Love Circle. The goal of membership is to offer you resources, you as a growing, evolving being who wants to be connected with your true, authentic self, who wants to thrive in your relationship with yourself and your relationships with your loved ones, and to provide you with videos and exercises, audios, just resources to support you there. That is what the membership tier, the first membership tier, which is $19.99 a month, offers you. And that's a growing library of content. You also have access to me, direct access to me through email. Then the other membership tier is all of that plus access to all of my online courses. I have 8 online courses on my website, 4 geared towards relationships, 4 geared towards lifestyle. So whether you are interested in deepening with your partner, or maybe you're exploring non-monogamy or needing support around jealousy, or perhaps you're trying to develop new movement or spiritual routines in your life, there are courses to support you in all realms of life. Come on over to my membership site. You can find it at brittanytaylor.co/membership. I look forward to connecting with you there. I'd love to talk about relationship because that has been, I mean, you and I have undergone so many cool relationship, growth experiences on this trip, I would say. I think within ourselves for sure, and then together. And in our relationship with Ilya, just to name that one because that's quick and easy, I think we're both such, like, I love the way we've evolved as parents on this trip, individually, and also the way we, like, parent as a team.
Yeah.
And some of our, like, new emphasized themes and philosophies around, like, a child's growth and the normalcy of emotional expression, or, like, just these different things. And I feel more patience and love and trust from both of us around that.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I really feel like our parenting, and maybe this kind of extends into the topic I was talking about, like, it's just like all of us being a team together.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you and I are just so, we're just around each other all the time. And, like, I'm witnessing you as a parent, feeling supported by you, and, like, my time, you're witnessing me as a parent, I'm supporting you in your time, we're, like, flowing together. There's, like, all these variations that are that we're so intimately dancing in every day. And yeah, I just love what has unfolded there, especially in terms of, like, how we're parenting Ilya together and the things we've navigated around. I wonder if there's any specifics, like maybe like co-sleeping, like, just like how we've navigated. Ilya can have this thing come up with the blankets, like, at night, where he's like, like,
he gets hot at night and just takes them off.
Yeah, and then, like, we're all, like, in a close, our bed is, at home we have, like, a California king that's turned sideways, so we have, like, a lot more space, and then he had a bed on the side, so we have just, like, this giant bed. And so, like, in this space, our bed is so much smaller, so we're all kind of touching each other, we're all sharing blankets. And then sometimes Ilya has this experience with the blankets where he has, like, freaked out in the middle of the night, or and just, like, the way you and I have navigated that, Brittany, because it's come up a few times, so we've gotten to, like, navigate it maybe not as great as we wanted to the first time, and then like, it gives us an opportunity. Okay, how do we want to do that? Like, what does Ilya need? How can we talk to him and get him more involved? And, like, okay, like, this is all of our space, like, how Ilya, like, how can we help you feel more relaxed so you can stay, like, calm and grounded in the middle of the night, so we can all do that. And so it's like the ripple effect of, like, how each one of us shows up and how we impact each other. I kind of went off on a tangent there, but I'm really feeling this, like, theme of, like, teamwork, and supporting each other, and like how we're also intimately connected. And yeah, I just like love how we're navigating parenting, and then how Ilya is growing and continually showing up more emotionally mature, like every day.
Yeah.
I think because of the way we're parenting and supporting him and attuned to him, and the way, and that is because the way you and I are attuned to each other.
Yeah.
And I love what we each bring into parenting, and yeah, just what we're flowing into. And
yeah, 100%. And something that's been really helpful in that for me, and this shows up with parenting, and it also shows up within myself and how I feel around other topics, which is resourcing myself. Just listening to certain like parenting podcasts, or like connecting with friends, or it's been so helpful. It doesn't take a lot to have the reminder of, like, one that's been really helpful for me lately is like, he's not giving us a hard time, he's having a hard time. And yeah, and like for emotional regulation, like when a child is dysregulated, they don't need a discipline. Like they need a hug. They need like love. Like they're trying their best.
Yeah, and if we take it on as like they're giving us a hard time and we're like shutting that down, like he doesn't get to feel cared for and get to like understand what's going on in his system, and then we don't get to understand what's going on in his system, and then we all feel like over time he wires that it's like not safe to feel.
Totally. Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing is like remembering he just turned 6. He's not supposed to have the level of emotional regulation that we do. And it's a big deal. He's going through huge growth spurts every day. He's like, his brain is different than ours. Like certain elements haven't developed yet. Like he literally relates to the world differently.
And it's tricky with Ilya for me because he's so smart. His humor is like the humor of an adult.
Yeah.
Like he says like what
the funniest stuff. I don't know how he comes up with it.
Yeah, like, and so it's confusing to me sometimes because I'll think like, oh, he's like older than he is, but he's like not, he's 6.
Yeah, and his emotional capacity, like the way he reads emotions and understands things and can name what we're feeling, it's next level. So,
and I think this is also like a reflection of like, you know, how we parented him,
right?
Like how we talk to him, how we support him, what he sees in our relationship, and how we communicate with each other, and how we share love with each other, and how we just how the whole family is cared for.
Yeah. So having those resources has been so helpful, and it's really helped, I think, reaffirm this thing that I've felt for a while inside of myself too, which is more of like the trust, the surrender, the peace, like just support them where they're at. And also don't take on stuff. Like if he hits me because he's angry, like that's not okay. I'm not just gonna like let him hit me, but also not like being so up in arms, like, Ilya, why did you hit me again? It's like, you know, he's doing the best he can. Like this is the way he knows how to express it at this age, and just feeling more peace around it. For me, the biggest shift has been he's not doing anything wrong. Like he's just doing his best, and this is really normal behavior for his development, and it's okay, and like he's gonna grow out of it. And meanwhile, like he can already feel really bad about how he behaved, and I don't want to add to that. I want to like remind him of like, hey, that I can't let you hit me, for example, if that's what's coming up, but not like making such a big deal out of it, like refocusing the energy on like let's help you ground right now. Let's help you just get the support you need right away. And almost like not getting into it with him, not like being on his level of like what he's kind of in, and just like bringing that grounded energy.
Yeah.
Which honestly is the same with an adult.
I was just going to say that. It's like, it's like humans, like that's what we all need. And like maybe the patterns that can come up for an adult that are like chaotic or expressing from wounds, or right, these are all of those expressions are happening because we didn't get the grounded caring response from our parent when we were 6 or 7 or 10 or however old, right? And so then these things are still existing.
Totally.
And so like, yeah, it takes I think that's the cool thing too, is like as I show up more grounded and loving with Ilya, like I rewire that in my own system.
Yeah, I've felt so much like growth from you there. It's been so cool. And to see and witness, but like to feel in your nervous system and the space that you're holding as a parent. And I feel it has shifted your relationship with Ilya too. You guys just seem closer. He's like, I think on a like cellular level, he trusts you more, and like, not to single you out because I think this is happening for me too. But
Yeah.
it's been really beautiful to witness that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that resourcing, also doing that for ourselves, like for me, recently it's been Byron Katie and it's Joe Dispenza, it can be Eckhart Tolle. It's like these people that we listen to, just this stream of consciousness, this certain vibration that feels really true for us, that is really helpful to tap into regularly. And it can be easy to think, oh, I know this stuff, you know, like, but like to have a regular transmission of that and to not have to be the only lighthouse for that in your life. And of course we're that for each other too. And there's other people in our life. That is so helpful for me. It like sets the stage. And there's other practices too, like starting the day with gratitudes and ending the day like that too. Or like thinking about like what felt really great. What do I want to make shifts around? Having some regular pulse has really helped me on this trip because we are in an ever-changing place. There are different vibrations and energies around us, even in the family dynamic. And I need like something regular that can help me like set my own compass and remind myself of, this is the energy I want to be bringing to my life, to this trip. This is how I want to be transforming.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah, I think one cool thing for me has been writing my book.
Yeah,
right.
it's
think
huge.
It's like helped me. It's like I've had this open invitation with the universe for the wisdom and the messages to flow through me, and so it's like, yeah, I feel like I put so much time into like, you know, sharing about the details of the trip. So like my book it's like a diary, a journal style of like what we're doing and our days and where we are, and but then it like goes into the deeper meaning of just our primal nature and why we're on this trip and the messages of spirit, and so that has helped me feel really connected with that pulse that you're speaking of too.
Yeah, I love that. And to add to that, I really see how it shapes your narrative of the trip because you're putting intention into like, this is how I'm telling the story. This is how I'm choosing to live it and tell it. It just seems like it gives so much more meaning to it.
Yeah.
And then for me, because I get to read it as we go along, it's like I get this whole other dimension to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really incredible.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, I want to talk about our relationship, and I want to talk about our why, because we haven't really talked about like, why are we on this trip? You know, like what's the deeper reason behind it?
Yeah. Why are we on this trip?
Because it feels so good to be wild and free, to live a simpler life, to say yes to dreams and adventures, because it felt like we were like, last year we took a trip, it was 5 weeks, almost 6 weeks, and we just felt like we needed to do it bigger, longer.
Yeah.
Because we could, because it was a transition time, we were ready to be done doing what we were doing, being where we were. And I think we're ready to start a new chapter, and we needed this like interim time to just be in the wild unknown. And it has been that. It has been like, it really is this interim time to like sort through all this stuff, to sort of like clean up loose ends, to see like, for me, inside of myself, and then translating that into my relationships. It's like, what hasn't been like fully explored or expressed, or like what could still feel a little sticky.
Yeah.
Because yeah, like next chapter for us, for me, is like a child, another child, and like a new home, whether that's where we used to live or somewhere else, but it's like a new house and a fresh start in a certain way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think just to add to that, I feel like all of that echoes to all of that. And right, like we had this momentum going in Austin. We'd been in our home for 6 years, and there was just layers of growth and momentum there, and our businesses were thriving, and there was just like, I think leaving last summer and taking a pause, just like a 5 to 6 week pause from that, was like really highlighting for me of like, oh wow, like my system is feeling tired. Just like, I feel like I'd been in kind of like hustle mode for a few years, and which I've loved. Like, I've loved that we have had all this momentum behind our coaching practices and Wild Eats, and just with all that we had going on in Austin and in our home, and then taking that pause in nature. I think that's something that Austin has always like symbolized for me, is like there is a pulse there. Mm-hmm. There is this like rhythm, and I can personally get kind of fall into that rhythm, mm-hmm. and kind of like keep saying yes, which is great. There's so much opportunity coming at me and us, and just saying yes to that. And sometimes I can just say yes too much. And I think it's been really amazing because we've had a lot of financial abundance, and gotten to play with really cool investments, and just kind of like tuning in, okay, like what would happen if we did take a pause from this, and just leave for a big chunk. And 6 months feels really cool. It feels like significant. It's like half a year. It's typically like an eclipse cycle. We started this on an eclipse. We're ending it on an eclipse. We have all these questions of like, how can we deepen in connection with each other? Where do we want to be? What do we want to be doing in the world? I think we pretty much know what we want to be doing in the world, but it's always powerful to like take a pause from the momentum, and then to get to feel in from the more spaciousness. Okay, like what do I want to bring back in? What do I want to like refine? Like this book feels like that for me. Your reworking of your whole website and programs, and this podcast, and our relationship, and kind of like tuning into like, okay, do we want to move back to Austin? Do we want to be in bigger nature? Do we want to have a variation of both? Do we like living on the road? Do we want to have like a home base and live on the road? There's so many questions up in the air. And as we're also like moving into expanding our family and having another kid, and I love that we're just taking this time. It feels like we're putting so much intention into the next chapter. And there is this like cool pause. Like it allows me to just like deepen into like whatever I say yes to next, which is like having a child with you, and where I'm choosing to live, and what I'm choosing to create. And yeah, it just feels like, oh, like I'm getting this time to really sit with that and choose it from like a hell yes place.
Yeah. I love the way you framed all of that. Specifically thinking about like relationship communication with you, something yesterday we talked about something that's like, I think just an evolving topic for us right now. And we spoke about it, like we were exploring downtown Seattle, and we spoke about it like on the Ferris wheel
over the water.
And then we were like, which is so fun. It's like something we've never done.
Yeah, but it's like not a typical thing we would choose. It was kind of just like a yes day, and like being in this big city and just like doing all these fun
walking
things
around the markets. Yeah, and then like we're on the streets. Like the whole conversation maybe lasted 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. And it was so cool because I felt like there was some like heat or tension that built around it, but it wasn't it didn't feel disconnecting. It felt like honest and authentic. Mm-hmm. And like, here, let's visit this topic that is like really dear to our hearts right now, and like something we're both evolving through. And I felt like I stayed as closer to you than ever throughout that whole process, and that we could talk about something that is like tender and have a totally different experience than maybe we would have a few years ago. And something I notice is like, yeah, that we can talk about challenging things and stay really close and like stay in the flow of our day. And then that we can talk about challenging things. So let's say a challenging thing is something where like you and your partner don't necessarily feel exactly the same way. Like, I think you and I feel the same way about these things, but like there's something that we're each bringing to the conversation that is, it is cohesive. It is important that we have both things. And sometimes it's not that they can feel opposing. It's just that they're not like exactly the same. And, and that it feels like the way we're approaching stuff like that is so different, where I feel from both of us that we 100% understand the other person and feel them and respect them and don't want them to be different. Like we've had huge conversations that can bring up the topic of like, does it make sense for us to move forward together in partnership? Like conversations that big that are like so respectful and loving and like so intimate that they're like the most connected to you I've ever felt. And that is the piece. It's like the intimacy can come from just deep truth. It doesn't have to be sameness.
Right. And it's like we're not trying to push away the other person's anything, right? Or I don't feel resistance in the conversation. There's just like an honest, we both get to bring all of ourselves here and be heard and received by the other without making it mean that we're not compatible or that we're in opposition or like, it's like, okay, well, actually, like, I get to know more of you or you get to know more of me. Each of us gets to feel safer and bringing all parts of ourselves here. And then that's what we want, right? We want to be all of ourselves and be loved as all of ourselves. Like that's what we want as humans. And so then we're experiencing the deepest level of intimacy that we can. And I think like for me, that is one of my intentions on this trip. And also like before, like you and I have a child together, we have Ilya, but we didn't choose to create that child together. Kind of, because when I met you, right, you were pregnant and I feel like I totally like chose Ilya, and Ilya is like my child. And like moving into like doing that in a new way,
right?
There is like a new level of commitment for me, and a choosing, and like I think that is the point of a lot of these conversations for myself is like I want to be experiencing the deepest level of intimacy with you, and so I imagine like this trip has birthed a lot of those honest, real conversations and has given us the different dynamics and environments to bring them, to stir them up within us so that we can hold each other in them in a new way. And I feel us doing that like more than ever.
Yeah, and I feel us staying. Like I feel us both really wanting to stay in those conversations to completion and to really understand and love each other. And those can be the hardest conversations for partners to stay in because they can trigger these fears of like rejection or fear of not being understood or whatever. Or like it gets so hard if you see it as an opposition that you can want to like disengage, and we're not. We're staying, and it's just the deepest intimacy. Like we've had what I felt are like some of the most intimate like lovemaking experiences that have come post, like after that type of deepening. I feel like there's such an opening, this feeling of like, wow. And it just feels more real and honest. I feel like, wow, I'm really getting to be with Bridgette. She's really getting to be with me. And it's more beautiful. Like even we were walking hand in hand yesterday, and I was just thinking like, this is so real. Like being with the unknown of like, okay, there are questions and that is life. And like, here we are together, like really open about them. And And there have been a couple of topics like that I just feel like we're so open about with each other and talking about like, okay, this is our differences around this thing and how do we meet that? And instead of feeling like something is wrong there, because that is every relationship. Like, we are different humans on purpose, and there's always going to be things to navigate in any relationship.
Yeah. And if you start like shutting down because you don't feel safe sharing with your partner, right, then like over time, like that just, then you're just unconsciously hiding, right? Not feeling open, not feeling the connectedness in the day, in the conversation, in the lovemaking, in the choices. And where like, I feel like you and I have always been deepening our, like, this is not something that we're just like, oh, we're experiencing like this really deep intimacy right now. Like we have always experienced like the deepest intimacy in our relationship, and it's like this next level that we're experiencing now. And yeah, it feels like honest and beautiful and fun. It's like more fun because I feel yeah, I think there's always been like an unraveling of safety, right? Like in any relationship, there is like the layers of like, okay, I share. Do I feel received? Do I feel safe? Okay, I share again. Do I feel like these, right? It just deepens and deepens and deepens. And yeah, I just feel like, you know, you and I have been doing that for just about 7 years now. And,
Yeah.
yeah, and here we are doing it in this new way, and it feels really expansive and explosive. And yeah, I'm really proud of our partnership and what we're choosing and this trip and our parenting and just like what we're creating and what we're tuning into. And yeah,
and it helps me tune into more like the love I hold for you as an individual, because I want you to live in alignment. Like, I want you to have everything you want, and I know we have just like the most epic relationship, and you love your family and all these things. You love us. And it's like, gosh, if there were ever something that you felt you needed to do or explore, or like some path that was calling you, like, I want to be your biggest supporter in that. Like, that is my role in your life, is like loving you, getting to know you more deeply than probably anybody else, and supporting you. Like, what could be a better role for me as your partner? And so again, that comes back to like, my inner work is so important. A huge part of that is living in alignment. And then part of that is like resourcing myself. And that's why like the flavor of my month is Byron Katie, because it's loving what is. And if we're like consciously or subconsciously wanting things to be different, like wanting our partner to feel differently, wanting them to behave differently, it's like, that is violent on some level. It's resisting what is. It's negating something really important that's coming up for them.
And then you're missing out on being curious about your partner and like truly loving them and like truly getting to feel like the safety and the deepening, and then just like the layers of that.
Yeah, and I think for me, in really choosing long-term partnership, which I think this is a big theme for me in our relationship, is just the choosing long-term partnership. Like, what does that mean to me? And it does mean like, there are going to be ebbs and flows. There's going to be times where we're figuring stuff out. And it's like continually saying yes to this thing and pouring more energy into it because it feels so good. And because the more we pour into it, the more it's here for us. And knowing like, yeah, there's going to be times that challenges come up, or there's going to be things that we don't always align on. And how do we meet that? And it's like, if you stay in something long enough, you see that everything changes over time.
Yeah.
Whereas it's like, cool, if we look in every partnership, if you look at the things that don't align and then you're like, cool, I'll try to get that alignment somewhere else, then something else pops up where you're misaligned. And so for me, in a way, long-term partnership means trusting, and on some level, trusting the mystery, and trusting that loving and supporting the other person is almost like the deepest form of safety you could offer your partners. your partner and your partnership.
Yeah.
It's like, why wouldn't you want to stay for that?
Yeah.
You know, unless if you're really misaligned, you know, on so many topics, but we're not. Like, you and I are, like 95% of our things, like, so easy, so flowing.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you. I love these topics.
Being love.
We are. I think we are being a reflection of true love more and more.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you. Is there anything else you want to name, share?
It's probably time for us to make breakfast. I think that's what's coming next.
Yeah. Here we go. Flowing into our day. We're going to make breakfast, pick up Ilya from the ferry.
And then head towards Oregon.
Head to Oregon.
Fun.
Yeah. I feel so fun to be, just sharing here with you, sharing our trip, sharing what's been alive, sharing what we're up to, and just deepening.
Thank you. Same. Oh, and you can check out my website, which is up and running, and there is now, in addition to having all of my and yours and mine and Connor's online courses, you can also become a member, which is a way to either get access to all the courses if you want that membership tier, or just to get access to lots of videos and exercises and audios for your own self-development, which are updated every month.
Oh, I love it.
I know, me too. Okay.
Okay.
Mwah.